Now let's talk about the permits for post frame builders in Iberia Parish. Okay, where to apply? Iberia Parish Permit Office. It's on Weldon Street in New Iberia. Okay, there's the phone number, and they're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4. And you can look them up, and you can actually, looks like you can submit it through the website. But let's see. Requires submission, part 1. What you'll need to submit: building permit application, project description and estimated cost, ownership information. Okay, folks, let me tell you something. If you're out there getting a permit, if you give them our contract, that's got the dollar amount on there. Okay, it sounds harder than what it really is, but they got paperwork. You just fill it out and submit it. If you need help, we'll be glad to help you. Okay, but and basically ownership information. Part 2, you're gonna mostly show property line and dimensions. So you have to have an overview. If you don't have somebody draw these up, you can print it off of Google as long as you draw in the lines and put some type of dimensions on there. That is acceptable. Easement and servitudes, driveway and access. That picture is going to show that, or you can simply draw it in. It doesn't have to always be professional. You know, when I was building houses, I mean, I would put a site plan and I'd draw a box where the house was going to be. They just want to see where it's going to be on your property. So you'll have to have a dimension, say from the road. Say if you're going 40 foot back, 100 foot back, that's what they're looking for. You can just draw a box where the shop's going to be. You know, it doesn't have to have, you know, everybody thinks it's got to be all professional. You can draw this out on a piece of paper. Okay, driveways and access, exit structures, proposed building footprint. That's what I just talked about. You can just draw it out and put the size. So if I'm building a 30 by 50 shop, you're going to draw a box back there. You're going to say that it's 100 foot from the road and it's a 30 wide by 50 tall. I mean, by 50 long. Boom, you're done. Okay. Requires setbacks. That's basically what I just talked about. Okay. Part 3 are plans and engineering, dimension, floor plan. If you're going to have something inside, if it's going to strictly be a shop, it's easy. It's a shop. Okay. Front, side, rear side elevations. We give you that information. All you got to do is submit it. Post embedment or foundation detail. We give you that information. It comes in your design approval plans. Roof type and material. Door and window sizes, if any. And it's that simple. Okay. Flood zone property may require elevation. This is where it gets kind of tricky. If it's really just a shop, they're probably not going to require any elevations. Now, if you're trying to do something else with it, where it's going to have a restroom or something like that in there, you may have an elevation requirement. And what that's going to do is they're going to go out there and they're going to mark a stake and say, okay, the top of your slab needs to be like this. That information is very important to let us know that when our builders go out, the first document you sign with us is building placement and elevation. That's when you need to tell them about that, because if you don't and we build a building, it's going to be too late. We'll have to take that building apart at your cost and move that thing up. So it's very, very important to just don't overlook this kind of stuff. If you have an elevation, that set elevation that you need to be at, you have got to let us know that. We won't know that because you're pulling the permit. There's a few other opportunity I'd like to talk to you about. I think I'm going to see it in a minute. Zoning, setbacks, placement. We talked about that. Contractor's license depending on project value. Owner builder may need additional documentation, and they'll let you know. Okay, don't get stressed out about it. They're going to let you know if you need something else. And if you need something from us, we have Daryl. You meet him on Mondays. We can always get that for you. Review time, 5 to 10 business days. Okay, I haven't seen them take that long, but sometimes they will. Inspections required during construction. This is what I want to talk about. Okay, so most people, when they're building a post frame or a barn in the backyard, they don't want to pay us to be the contractor on record. And that's okay, because you're going to save 15 to 20%. Depending on where you are, it may be a little bit more. And that's perfectly fine. But let's understand something. When you go get your permit, okay, this is the process we're talking about. If you're required to, inspections required during construction, if you're required to do that, they're going to give you a checklist. Okay, don't just put that checklist aside. You have to let us know here, because we're erecting that building. We're going to pour your concrete. You have to let us know if you have that, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to, because we're going to schedule. You remember all those jobs that I showed you earlier? Over 90 to 100 jobs a week that we got going on. You know, we pour five or so buildings a day. We're pouring the concrete. It's up to you, the homeowner, to let us know if you need to get an inspection done before you pour your concrete, okay? Now, we have some checks in place right now to try to help that, but if you have a checklist from your permit office and you know you need that, we're going to ask you to send, before we pour your concrete, we're going to ask you to send us the green tag that you're going to get prior to pouring your concrete. That way we know that you did everything right. But sometimes, you know, our double check doesn't fall through, so make sure that if you have a checklist that you're in tune with what's going on, okay? It's not the end of the world, but you can save a lot of problems if you do it properly, okay? And that's the part I wanted to talk to you about right there. Building without a permit can result to fines, all right? Also, going to the step prior to the inspection can cause problems. Sometimes we can help you get out of it, but sometimes we can't. And you know, a lot of people think that they can, you know, that they can get a shop, and right before they pour concrete, you can put a bathroom in it. Well, let me tell you, maybe some places you can get away with it if you don't have an inspection requirement. But if you do, and you do that, they're not going to allow you to pour the concrete. I'm just letting you know. Okay, so it's best, the point I'm trying to make is it's best to devote all this information up front from the very beginning. That way you have no complications through your build process. Okay, call permit office before submitting, verify flood zone early, and don't start construction without approval. Okay, that's our little show today, folks. Let's talk about the Ambassador Club. So we have ambassadors out there that can show you their building. They can actually talk about our building. They can even get you set up to buy a building. All right, and we have very good ambassadors out there. Mr. Tim's usually here. Yes, he's here today, and we're starting to gain very, very knowledgeable ambassadors of Mallett buildings that can speak very well about the products that we put out there, and they're willing to show you their building. They're willing to talk to you about you know, how their build went. So take advantage of that. If you want to talk to a Mallett ambassador, make sure you let one of our building specialists know, and we would definitely hook you up with that. If you are a person who purchased a building for us and you're not in our ambassador club and you want more information, let us know, and we'll certainly like to get that information out to you. That's our show today, folks. We really appreciate your business, and we'll see you tomorrow.